The Pittsburgh Steelers pull off the impossible. And when in recent memory can you remember a team totally dismantling their whole quarterback room and rebuilding it? Welcome back to Mic Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers and what Omar Khan has done in the 2024 offseason. This is a big-time move. He pulled off the impossible here. He basically got Justin Fields for nothing. He basically got Russell Wilson for nothing. Now, will this prove to be a great move on great moves on Omar Khan's part? It could potentially be. The upside is there, and the backside of it to where there's some drawbacks is really minimal. They've basically paid nothing, and they have options with Justin Fields' fifth-year option. They don't have to necessarily pick that up. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, have given Justin Fields a huge gift here, guys. They have restarted his career, reset his career, and are going to give him that opportunity to restart his career. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers plan here with Omar Khan and what they have in mind with Coach Mike Tomlin is that Justin Fields comes in here, resets, sits and learns behind a great quarterback in Russell Wilson, a guy that is potentially going to be a Hall of Famer one day and hopefully can guide the Steelers to some real success here. But the Pittsburgh Steelers do have options now. They've rebuilt this quarterback room. They bring in a young Justin Fields. However, he's a turnover machine, and he's going to have to really correct some of these deficiencies. He's going to have to become a pocket passer first, not a run-first type guy. He's going to have to figure out how to hold on to the football. And if the Steelers are smart, they have to go out now in the draft and grab a tackle and grab a center and really solidify this offensive line that they are basically two pieces away from being super good. And if you're the Steelers and you're bringing in Justin Fields, the reset is real here. You got to just really help him just calm himself down. Restart this career. Quit making him worry about carrying a franchise on his shoulders because he doesn't have to do that in Pittsburgh. You're playing behind a big-time defense. Well, which hopefully will be a big-time defense. And I think they've moved in the right direction to continue that pattern. I think that is a plus for Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. You're playing with a good defense that all you have to do is be serviceable to good and your team will succeed. And I think that is a big time thing for a quarterback, to not have the pressure carrying the franchise on your shoulders. And I think that's what totally destroyed Justin Fields because he never had a supporting cast. Never. Do I think the Justin Fields move was something that I wanted? Absolutely not. I didn't like the way he played. I don't think he's a big time NFL quarterback. But they caught him for cheap. So let's see if they can develop him into a big-time NFL quarterback because he does have upside. His athleticism is off the charts. He can run the football like no other. He is a beast at it. So those are pluses. But if you're Justin Fields, you have to be humble here. You have to humble yourself. You have to recenter yourself here. And you have to take advantage of this situation that's been put in front of you. And that is a fresh start, a chance to reset your career. I keep saying it. This is a reset for Justin Fields, guys. A total reset. And if you're Justin Fields, you have to take advantage of it. You can't let this moment pass you by. You just cannot. You have to seize this moment because it could spell the end of your chances of being a franchise guy if you don't. And if you're Russell Wilson, and the way that he was speaking in his introductory press conference, I think that he is willing to do some of the things necessary to be a true mentor. He says he has some years left in the tank. Maybe it does work out, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to work out a deal with Russell Wilson and allow Justin Fields to sit for 1 or 2 years, to get comfortable again, to be able to come in once it's his time and really shine and really have that confidence, that newfound confidence. That's what the Steelers are aiming for here, and this is exactly what Omar Khan's plan is and Mike Tomlin's plan. They've come together, and their plan is, hey, we have Russell Wilson. He will start in 2024. We are going to bring in Justin Fields for basically nothing, and we are going to allow him the chance to learn. We're going to go out here in the draft, and we're going to grab a quarterback in the mid to late rounds that has a high ceiling also that can sit down and learn. And maybe one of those guys, maybe one of those two that are younger, maybe we'll roll the dice with them if Russ gets hurt or if Russ has to move on due to contract, and maybe one of them will shine. They're just increasing their odds. They grew tired of Kenny Pickett wanting to leave, so they obliged. They grew tired of Deontay Johnson saying he wanted to leave, so they obliged. The Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to create an environment here, guys, that is all winning, man. And they are trying to bring that back into the Pittsburgh Steelers building down there. They are trying to breathe in that confidence, that winning attitude, that togetherness on a team. They're trying to make this team a cohesive unit, and they do not want hostages, as Mike Tomlin has said many times, and it has proven to be true. You request a trade, you're out. They don't want you. They want guys that want to be in that building. And I think with some of the additions they've made, they're well on their way there. I think that this is the time that the Pittsburgh Steelers can maybe possibly find that franchise quarterback if they go out in the draft and they find a young guy that they can bring in to get this quarterback room filled out the rest of the way with 3 levels of player, a mid-tier guy in Justin Fields, an older, wily veteran in Russell Wilson, and then a rookie in the draft where they bring in this new guy that is able to sit and learn like per se like a Jordan Love type guy, 3-4 years, see what he got. Make him the backup during that time if Justin Fields ascends to be the starter. And if you're Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have given yourself several avenues. You've given yourself several outs. And that is what I really want to applaud Omar Khan on this offseason. He continues to create big-time moves that give his team several avenues to go, several ways to get out of situations, to where it is a win-win for them most of the time with the moves that Omar is making. And that is special, guys. We haven't seen that. This is not a typical Steelers offseason. We haven't seen this type of general manager way of thinking. I don't remember when. Kevin Colbert was very conservative at times, in my opinion. I didn't feel like he really went out there and pulled the trigger and pulled off elaborate moves. Yes, there were some moves in there, a James Farrier signing, things like that, ended up being very special signings. There are those. But it's not anything like what Omar Khan's doing here. And then when you bring Justin Fields in, I want to know from you guys, is this the future? Is this the Steelers' plan for the future? Is this what they want to do moving forward? Do they really like Justin Fields enough to really bank on their franchise being guided by him later down the road? I think so. I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think Justin Fields is the future for the city of Pittsburgh, at least in the next 2 to 3 years. I think they're going to roll with Russell Wilson until they can't afford him anymore, and then they're going to let him go do his thing wherever else he wants to. And just per se that Russell Wilson doesn't succeed and really, really struggles, and, we have obvious signs that this is the end of his career and that things aren't going to get much better. It's only going to get worse. Allow Justin Fields to come in and just see what he can do. And what? You're not for any worse. If you play either one of them, you're not going to lose anything. You didn't pay anything for them, guys. Yes, Justin Fields has a big-time price tag in his 5th-year option, but if you're the Steelers, you don't even have to pick that up. You can wait. You may be able to figure out a trade down the road if you're the Steelers. You didn't give away anything, so whatever you get back is going to be okay. It doesn't matter. But if you see glimmers of hope and you see progression and you see the newfound excitement in Justin's game as he learns behind Russell Wilson and you're confident in what he's doing, why not sign him? Why not? Bring him in. And you heard Russell Wilson. He's not about the money and the contracts anymore. He's about winning football games and cementing his legacy. So that may work out. You may be able to, in 2025, bring both of those guys in at fairly reasonable contracts and still have a very cheap quarterback room under $40 million. It's possible. It's very possible. And still have a young rookie behind both of them, learning, waiting in the wings, ready to go. That's the best case scenario, guys. And if you're the Steelers, you have found your future here with Russell Wilson. And I know he's going to be 36 years old, but I think he's going to be able to guide this team for a year or two. And I think that's going to give the Steelers time enough to evaluate Justin Fields and see whether they think he can be special. And when you bring a guy in that you don't have to give that 50-year option to, maybe you work out a different type of deal, a different type of extension, and you don't have to do that. And Justin Fields signs on a cheaper deal because of his situation. And if you're Omar Khan, that'd be pretty sick. Lock him up for 2 or 3 more years to where you're paying him minimal money. Then you're really confident in just bringing him in and letting him play and seeing what you got because you don't have to worry about it. You're not worrying about the money, and you can ensure that there's a quality team around him. And that is the biggest thing. Justin Fields had a hard time succeeding in the city of Chicago. Why? Because he didn't have a team around him, guys. He had nobody around him. And that hurts. You're not able to develop as a young quarterback when you come in. Very few are able to put a team on their shoulders and get that team moving when they get no help from the franchise. They get zero help. It's a problem. It's an issue. And Justin Fields wasn't able to do it. Now, he is responsible for his play, guys. He is responsible for his fumbles and his interceptions and things like that. But he did not have any help, and we have to acknowledge that. Now, like I said, am I the biggest Justin Fields fan in the world? No. You've heard me talk on the channel, especially you guys that are loyal listeners. You've heard what I've had to say about Justin Fields. And you've heard what I've had to say about Russell Wilson, but they are now the Pittsburgh Steelers' 2 quarterbacks that are signed to the roster. And that means what? We have to figure out what they do well. We have to break apart what they do poorly and try to figure out what they're going to be able to bring to the table for your 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers. That's where we're at now. There's no more we just bash them to bash them. There's no more saying we don't want them, we wouldn't want them, because guess what? They're here. It doesn't matter anymore what we have to say. Omar Khan made the moves and he got them for cheap, so we have to live with it. So let's get behind them and figure out what they could do best, what they're going to be able to do possibly for your team in 2024, and how this quarterback room is going to shake out. And in my opinion, it's Russell Wilson for the 2024 season, allowing Justin Fields to learn and gain new confidence and to possibly have hope to bring him in down the road. I think that that's how this works out, and I think that that's exactly what Omar's plan was. When he dumped the whole quarterback room, I think it was a mistake not bringing Mason Rudolph back. That's the one mistake I think he made. But he corrected it. He had a plan B. He had a plan C. And you saw plan B, Russell Wilson, plan C, Justin Fields, and he got both of them in the building. Omar Khan covers his tracks, guys, and he's had a phenomenal offseason so far with the addition of Patrick Queen, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Van Jefferson, the punter. They have done some special things, in my opinion. You get the safety. You get the cornerback in the Deontay Johnson trade. He has definitely filled some holes, and he's definitely filled them with players that you can have some confidence in. And don't think that it's done yet, because I still think there is a wide receiver veteran signing coming up. I don't think Van Jefferson was the end-all be-all in that category. And I think ahead of the 2024 draft, the Steelers will have almost every whole field except for a couple. And that means what? They have to go out and get some young stud rookies to build around, some foundational pieces to build around. And hopefully those work out, because Omar had a fantastic draft last year with players that can contribute. JPJ starter. You had Keanu Benton, who had significant playing time. You had Nick Herbig, who saw significant snaps throughout the 2023 season. They may not have been a high snap count, but he saw some significant snaps, and he definitely contributed. Broderick Jones contributed. You know, those guys. They all contributed. That was an excellent draft. Let's not forget, too, guys, we don't necessarily maybe have to go get every piece that, to fill every hole. There are guys still on the roster. You have Spencer Anderson type guys. You have guys that could play center if need be. So there are options out there that they could make sure that they fill some holes with. I don't think that they're preferable options, but I think that they are options nonetheless, and maybe they fill it out with free agency, the remainder of free agency, try to bring in some project type guys, things of that nature if they don't succeed in the draft. But I think Omar Khan has opened the door for him to go several different directions here and still be able to take the best player available and fill holes and still really make a splash in the draft. I really, really do. Alright guys, this video was a special Sunday edition of the show here on Mic Drop Sports. We normally don't upload. We streamed yesterday right as the news broke. I had a feeling last night that it was going to happen, and I got just a hunch, and I said, let's go live. Let's make the show. Let's talk on Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports, and really just see what happens here, because I think a trade is imminent. And boom, soon as we hit live, the Justin Fields news dropped, which was really, really cool. So make sure you're coming to Steel City Live, our live show Monday through Friday. You won't be disappointed. There's always cool shit that happens on that show. Also, don't forget our daily uploads like this. Again, we normally don't have our daily uploads on Saturday and Sunday. It's usually a Monday through Friday thing. But with all the news going on, we had to make this show. I wanted to talk about what the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers may look like and what their plans are. I just think it's really important to dissect this amazing, so different type of offseason, something that we haven't seen before, and really embellish all of what Omar has done and really try to break it down and just really enjoy this offseason as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So guys, don't forget our daily upload tomorrow morning. You'll see it before 10 a.m. Don't forget our live show Monday night. It will be a banger. Hopefully there's another signing before then. Maybe Tyler Boyd, somebody like that in the wide receiver realm. We'll see how that goes. Maybe a tackle, maybe a center. We don't know. We'll see how this all unfolds. But the Pittsburgh Steelers and Omar Khan aren't done just yet. Don't worry about the cap space. They haven't even done restructures or extensions, rather. They haven't even worked that out yet. So they're going to be able to free up some money here in the near future. And you're going to start to see some of them restructures come into play here as the Pittsburgh Steelers gear up for the draft to gain some money to be able to pay for their draftees and also be able to still be players in this free agency market to get veteran guys to fill out the rest of this remaining roster for 2024. And I think it could be a big year for your Pittsburgh Steelers as they continue to build under Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan. And I really think it's starting to become something that looks a little bit special to me. So until next time, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.